So all of these activities, they were reported to the government, and there were so many meetings that were held by the government, by the oil companies to resolve it. But the militants continue to do what they think is good for them until we reach this state that we are in. It was my opposition to this militant group that made them force me out of the community on self-exile. All right. We even have a situation here where monarch an oath of allegiance to the militant leader. So what we have is on December 1, 2021, at about 2 p.m., the militant leader ordered his notorious squad and at gunpoint woke them up from sleep with a bang, knowing sufficiently well that the previous night they attended a wake-up ceremony and said 6 men escorted him at gunpoint into a waiting 200 horsepower speedboat, which took them into a bush to a shrine where the militants ordered them to take an oath of allegiance to the militant leader. So when there was a reaction, they said before his coronation, he has subscribed to an oath before the ancestors and before God to be impartial in his discharge of duties. And so he ordered his gunmen and they fired several rounds of AK-47 over his head. And at that point, he realized that he could be shot dead. So he had no choice and he succumbed to taking that oath. So we have monarchs taking oath of allegiance to a militant leader. So even if they come forward and say, see, come and tell us,
come forward.
So they won't be able to come forward.
When you take an oath of allegiance, it means that whatever the militant leader does, it's okay. You support
so
it.
What do we think of all of these revelations? It's a lot. Militant leaders dismiss JTF allegations. There's tension in different parts, as you know, even to the point where militant leader even beats military checkpoints, and the troops know where this killer is. They went there, but then there's been a lot of complaints. Is it impossible for this person or these people to be reined in? What exactly is the situation? Let's have a conversation about that. But before then, just very quickly, Fuhad, let's get your thoughts as regards the first report from former president as regards unemployment and the Okwama investigation. I
think it's spot on from Chief Olusegun Obasanjo on the need for us to look at the problem of unemployment. And of course, he has suggested the agricultural sector, the agri sector is one key area. If you look at the vast arable land we have in the country and other potentials we have to build the agri sector, you understand why Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who is also a farmer, incidentally, is saying that, look,
said he's a madman of agriculture.
He's done a lot when it comes to the agri sector, so he understands what he's saying. And of course, all of the potentials for our youths, for example, to really empower themselves and do very well. Although I think that there's no problem with youths looking at social media content, TikToking, and all of those things to make money.
Of course, yes.
We have the population really. How many youths?
Not everybody that can go into that.
How many of them really, does all of that? So there's the opportunity to do more, really tapping into the agri sector and all of that. There's also the extractive industry, really. I think we need to reform the extractive industry, the mining sites and all of that. There's that opportunity too. And a whole lot of other opportunities that are bound in the country to get people gainfully employed. But those things cannot happen in isolation. There are factors to it that will make it happen. Governance must be about the people.
Business, is the environment conducive enough for them to...
Education is also key. People have to be knowledgeable about these things. So it means you have to improve the educational sector. Infrastructure is also key. Farmers should be able to move products in and out. They need to be able to preserve their goods. You understand? So again, you need to reform what it takes to be able to export your commodities. They say a lot of things we produce in Nigeria don't meet international export standards. Those things, again, we have to look at. And security, Sandra. You can't be talking about improving the agricultural sector as a way of tackling unemployment without talking about insecurity. The few Nigerians that are still into farming still can't access their farms because of the activities of bandits and kidnappers. So it's a whole lot of what that still comes back to governance, and we need to fix that. And then on this beautiful investigative report from the Vanguard newspaper, Sandra, it has, again, just buttressed what we have been saying. That, look, who are these guys that have been so emboldened, to have been able to carry out what happened on March 14? When you take out a military unit comprising a lieutenant colonel, 2 majors, a captain, and 13 other soldiers. You are not just an ordinary person, really. And it's not surprising to now get from this report that the authorities actually have gotten petitions. The governors have gotten petitions. The government at the federal level has also gotten petitions from traditional rulers who have been complaining about the activities of this particular militant. We say
for
it again.
years.
When you see, you when you do some things and we continue to complain about, people think we are just on radio, we like lamentations and all of that. Look, the idea of strengthening non-state actors to take on responsibilities of as security operatives would lead to things like this. Because again, you have one of the non-state actors now that have been emboldened under one funny tantita arrangement to get 4 billion every month to secure a proper. The other guys who are his rivals are not going to open their hands and begin to look. They're also going to help themselves. Because they will now say, oh, you gave him this, okay, we'll take care of ourselves another way. Whereas the security of our oil installations is supposed to be in the hands of our security operatives. Governance has failed at that level. We're now giving it to former militants. Look at where we are now. Just imagine where we are. And to say that, look, that's why people say that, look, the story is not complete. There's something missing somewhere. We kept saying it. As to what happened on March 14, there are still a lot of questions that we have not been able to answer. And I am sorry. Yes, we are with our heroes, but I think the military authorities are still not handling the issue properly. And if you read what 𝐻𝐈 is saying, his house was ransacked. I think 2 of his houses in the Niger Delta, I think 2 of them in Delta were ransacked in the search for this so-called militant leader. They went to 𝐻𝐈's house. And what the other statement is saying that, look, if we are not careful, we're going to go into the pre-Yaradua era. Now you have militants now. Just after March 14 happened, the one of police happened again, somewhere in the Delta. This is not a story we want to see, but this is what it is. And that's why we say that, look, governance is not just about going there to go and steal money. Can you concentrate on what the job is? Because at the end of the day now, Sandra, look at where we are. It's a very bad story, bad situation for the country. The so-called politicians now who have been stealing money from that state now, can they go back to their communities now?
Well, I mean, there's even a lot. There's been some back and forth between DᴏɪＲ and 𝐻𝐈.
They are all culpable, Sandra. Back and forth. They are all culpable. Everyone is culpable here. When I talk about the political class.
Former governor of Bayelsa State and ex-minister Chief 𝐻𝐈 said, and I quote, the last Bayelsa governorship election featured a lot of disheartening state sponsorship of gunmen.
Sorry, his own running mate, was he not a former militant leader? The running mate he chose to run with him for the election. I'm talking about 𝐻𝐈.
Today, we all see the results of that act of desperation and the unnecessary loss of precious Nigerian lives. And then you now have the governor in his own part saying that Senator DᴏɪR accusing Silva of politicizing the killings, wondering why the ex-minister of Petroleum Resources chose to dance on the graves of the slain soldiers in his false allusion to the use of non-state actors in the governorship pool in the state.
Sandra, they are all guilty.
So that's the have the back and forth between both of them. All right. So thank you very much, Saeed Fuad. Let's have a conversation. 0913-6000-410. That is the number to call to join the conversation. 0913-6000-410. And then for text messages and WhatsApp messages, you have 0913-6000-430. 0913-6000-430. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can drop your comments in the live chat session as well at Mainland 98.3 FM. At Mainland 98.3 FM. So you can drop your comments and we'll take them as the show progresses. This is Mainland FM and this is Mainland Focus, and we already have our focal point highlighted on our Facebook platform in the caption. You can check it there, just if you're just tuning in and you want to have what exactly we're discussing this morning. All right, let's take our first call for the day. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What? Good morning, Sid.
Good morning.
John from
Yes.
You can see what is happening now, security-wise. The bandits hold this way in the north and the Niger Delta, we have
militants
holding forth. And due to the recklessness of and irresponsible attitude of this our politicians, this has led us to where we are now. You can imagine when they are contesting for elections, they empower all these hoodlums, all this layabout, give them guns to win elections for them by crook or by hook. And you are still what it has better for us to now. Now that it has touched a gargantua that we cannot take. Honestly, and I have been saying it, this is not democracy. And these politicians, I will not miss what act. All of them, they are irresponsible. The only thing they understand is to look and steal. They don't have anything out there. Even both the professors, the ones that are highly educated, they lack mental capacity to rule us. Hello.
Yeah, with you, Mr. John.
Yes. We will not throw away the bathwater together with the baby. He has said something good, but when he was there, what contracted effort did he make to lay a solid foundation to productive employment? What effort has he made? Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. I wanted to let's move forward, but
I actually just focus on the message.
On the message, let's leave the messenger. All right. The question is, do you agree with what he said? Let's look at that. That's the focus, because whether I like it or not, there is a problem of banditry and kidnapping in the country now. Not 2000 and
no, I'll not bother with the message.
2000 and Obasanjo.
You want me to talk about the messenger?
No, please. Thank you very much, Fuad. I appreciate your passion. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, morning. I want to talk about the issue of Lɪਧᴇ 𝐴ᴏ.
Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Joshua. I'm calling.
Your name is?
Joshua from Agbole.
From
Agbole. Okay.
I sometimes when you want to say that issue, I will say of it many times. But I can tell you with the way the president is handling the situation, he has brought back militancy like that. That statement of the military should go do everything and get their own equal. Up to now, we have not had
I'm sorry, but I don't think he can hear us either.
I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
We can't hear you clearly. We can hear you.
Okay, please. You have to be a bit steady. Maybe you are using a hands-free or something.
No. I think it's the network. I hope you can hear me now.
All right, please go on. Let's just struggle through.
With the way the president is handling the thing, the state government, the president, I think they have brought back the Niger Delta. Because the president should have given the army order and asked them to exercise caution so that they will not have, civilian collective damages. But what we have been hearing is only from the side of the army. We have not even heard from the people, and we are told the people are still hiding. What have they take care of themselves? How do they see? Yes, we commiserate with the military and the family of the person. But then, even in a war situation, they will still allow humanitarian this thing to go in there and take care of the civilians. But in this case, the military have not even allowed people, even the journalists, to go in there and really get the fact out. So the way they are handling this thing, I can tell you they have brought back to the Niger Delta. Have a nice day.
And you too.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You have to be careful, really. You said it.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Yeah.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, it's about good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Danola.
Yes, good morning, my sister. On the statement of Obasanjo, I think it's a very good one. Again, it's just that Baba too has still woefully when he was in power. But let's leave the messenger. It's a good thing.
It's okay.
And if it can go back to the level of having a kind of multi-productive level in the world market. Not that we focus on petroleum. We have able youth that can go to farm, they can do everything. Let's actually give them training, empower them, give them the fund, and actually start something. And the security should be taken care of so that people can go to farm and do that freely. On the statement of revelation of the Delta State, those people in the Delta State, those precisely, they are the ones that actually put the state under their pillow. When they have all those people there, why are they complaining? That the was increased. I don't know those militants who are saying that they are just elected all this way. They are the ones that are common at the innocent people now. These politicians in Nigeria, many of them are.
Hello.
They don't know anything about it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. Thank you very much. I think we rushed through that one. The time is 9 o'clock and you're listening to Mainland Focus on Mainland 98.3 FM. The number to call is 0913 6000 Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well done job there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This Joseph, I'm coming from Adinyo, one local area in Ogun State.
Adinyo, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
The unpalatable state of Adinyo. All houses here is virtually empty.
No
it's
road.
a ghost city here.
No road,
no, in fact, it's unaccessible. So thank you for a good job that you are doing all the time.
Thank you.
My contribution is this. Last week, in my home state, Benue State, in Gatu area. So this guy came from. I'm talking about in respect of Obasanjo statement or no statement.
Yes.
So relative to that, the brother came home from Abuja. He traveled to another village after 2 days to the son of my uncle. While they were eating the pounded yam of welcome, lo and behold, Fulani herdsmen entered into the village. And the guy mustered the energy while everybody was running away. He stood his ground and said, this cannot happen, that he has been hearing it, but this one is a koro that he wants to stand. And the AK-47 that my uncle had, he took it up and then beat his beat. You do know that by the end of the day, the whole bullet is finished and they have to butcher this guy like a goat. So it's easier said than done. Go back to farm. Go back to farm. So majority contributors have stated, while you were there, what did you do? What kind of platform? What kind of foundation? What kind of legacy were you able to put on ground? In fact, the way I see you in media is like you're always singing. I mean, you are trying your best to checkmate what these people are up to. But then many a times you always care for a lot of their statements. This one say, and you can see that it is when they leave office, that is when the right senses come. So, who in fact, go and tell that to the best of the air. If you go to my state now, you are telling you to go back to the field. They'll tell you, bring your own children, let them go back to the farm, so that let them see what we are seeing. A lot of villages here have been ransacked. We are here talking grammar. I hate this radio station at times, but there's nothing I can do. Have a nice day, please.
And you as well. Thank you very much.
But again, you're just talking about insecurity, really. That, you can't talk about agreed without security. So, just, of course, affirming or agreeing to what we've said.
Let's make it glamorous first. I think education or orientation is very important.
No. How do you glamorize something when people can't even go to farm? It's not when people are now farming. You can now begin to look at technology,
have indoor
marketing.
Let's have indoor farming.
In where you indoor farming?
Indoor.
You are a Lagos person now. It's obvious. Have you ever visited a farm before that?
Yes.
Which farm?
My grandmother's farm.
Just small in the backyard.
Somewhere in Ibishi. Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, Sandra, and Mr. Pratt.
Good morning,
yes,
sir.
good morning.
Moving from command.
Thank you, moving from command.
All right.
And I'm really not happy this morning, and I'm a bit happy. See, when the right thing is being done, people will rejoice. Obasanjo is saying we should go back to farm. It's a good point. Some of us have listened to something like that before, but we went back. I'm telling you with a great point. I also had a farm almost like 3 years ago here in Lagos, and I mean, non-state actors wrecked me. I lost nothing less than 1.2 million on that farmland.
What was the location of the farmland?
Parua.
Oh, were you
New London, yeah.
What were you farming?
New London, Parua. I'm into poultry. I have like nothing less than I have nothing less than 1,000 layers. And other poultry beds like that. And no state actors like this South Rootnoms, they came and took over the land from the owner of that land. I pay rent on that land, and I know what it takes. And nobody will report the case. The case is in the court, and what they told us is that you can't fight these guys. I'm telling you, just telling you that you can't fight these guys. Then you hear that kind of statement. Then you know that you should know how powerful they are. And that is what is happening all over. You can see this guy that is terrorizing and even telling people to swear. They're telling the community leaders to swear. I hope apologize. to non-state actors. You should know how powerful they are. You know that nothing can happen when they do anything. Nothing. I'm telling you, nothing will happen. That is what is giving them confidence that if they do this thing, they will get away with it. And it's not so far-fetched because we know they are the one that all these politicians are patronizing. Every time, next 4 years come again now, we will soon patronize them again. You see all this all over. And we see all of them here. This is nonsense, and this is what you are saying. We can't make any progress in the economy. We can't make any progress as a nation if we can't cover this nonsense. If we can't speak right here to the mind of our politicians, they should have sense and do the right thing.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Bumi. I appreciate. If I get in.
Hello.
Yes.
Good
morning.
Fuad and Sandra, good morning.
Good morning,
sir.
Good morning.
Fuad, please, what's the name of this militant leader? Tell us the name. That's what I've been waiting to hear. What is his name, Fuad? What was the name now? I'm waiting. Bye-bye. Maybe I've seen him before. Let me know when I see him. I will touch.
No, they said
Popularly known as General.
Then they said he's also nicknamed River Lord.
Okay. Because I'm a militant. So if I see his face, I will know. I'll step afar and shake him from far. Thank you very much.
All right. I just have here General, and that's all I have.
Yeah, I think the name of the group. I'm looking for the name of it.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Ambrose.
Good morning, Fuad.
Good morning, sir.
We thank God for another day.
Yes, sir.
I think within last week or so, or 2 weeks ago, I was talking about my friend in Kaba. I don't know if you remember. I said you don't go to farm any longer.
You said it.
That place now, he said once you farm at night, these people come with their cows and they eat everything. I am asking, when there is any problem in the north, let us be very specific now. They all speak with one voice. And what is still amazing is that if the northerners want to talk, they Benue, Betu, Taraba, and Kogi, they are the part of the north. But when they want to play their politics, they exercise them. Now, my worry is this. Why are politicians from the south not speaking with one voice? Why? Because if we all speak with one voice, Nigeria won't be where it is. So no matter what is happening, once it comes to their interest, they speak with one voice. But when it comes to our interest, you will see the easterner going left, the southwest going another direction, and the south-south going towards another direction. And I'm sure you also talk about the militant. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, we're with you.
My father was a military man. He died in 1981 as a captain. Then, military respected. And my father as a captain then was a very big man in the military. In the whole of Lokoja, we had just 16 or 18. We had about 21 officers, the commanding officers, and then 18 other people who were officers. The rest were NCOs and at that time, if you see a military man, you will fever.
All right.
The problem we have today now is that our military has been politicized.
Right.
They should leave politics alone. Let them go to the barracks and face defending the territorial integrity of this nation. And you see people will be afraid of them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Ambrose. I appreciate. Yes. All right. I think we've had that conversation. Fuad has mentioned something related to that some time ago. Hello, good morning.
Sandra, good morning.
Good morning. Don Peters.
Yes, my name is Don Peters. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Fuad,
Yes.
I want to ask you a question because these days I'm asking a lot of questions. Does governance start and end with one administration?
No, not at all.
Good. Does development start and end with one administration?
No, definitely not.
Good. You know why I'm asking this? Obasanjo is giving us a clue what is sustaining him. And the question we are asking Obasanjo is, what does he do under his own tenure?
We've
as
said that.
president?
Let's just concentrate on the message. Let's leave the messenger.
You know, it's laughable. I said you something last time I spoke here. You guys in the round table always made my day. I listen to you guys to gain more wisdom and knowledge and add to what I'm doing and implement it into my own business. Because it's working for me. The purpose of a history is not a man to make a man happy, but to make a man wiser. That is the one I take home, and I wrote it on where I wrote my thing. Okay? Good. Obasanjo, when he was the president, he paid our debt. He united Nigeria. The job loss wasn't like this. And after he finished that, he went into farming. He's giving us a clue of what is happening all around the world. Israel, Holland, what they're sustaining them. And the question we are asking him is, what does he do? A man has given you an elderly wisdom for you to implement it. Instead of you to work with that, you are asking the elderly man, what does he do when he was the president? So you expect him to better the whole of Nigeria as 8 years in a stretch and nothing else. So we should only hold on to his own governance and nothing else. He has performed his own duty. Jonathan have come, Buhari have come, and Tinubu is here now. And he wants us to be asking Obasanjo in his total, what does he do? I think it's a very ridiculous question. On the second one, okay.
Yes.
Okay, let me end it. Thank you very much. Because I have something to say on the second one, but no problem. No problem. When the news arises,
yes,
I will still talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I was actually trying to take
Peters.
him away from the messenger conversation to the message conversation, but he kept on with the message. So I think that was what his interest was.
Yes.
So it's fine.
But then, I mean, it's very, very okay. All right, but let's not forget that we have open forum on Thursdays where we get to talk about a plethora of different areas of issues. All right, and it's 2 hours just for you, our dear listener, to share your analysis and contribution as regards the hot topics in the past 1 week. It is still Mainland Focus on Mainland 98.3 FM. We have some messages on Facebook and WhatsApp. So I'll just take some messages, the messages on Facebook, just a few. I will be back to the phone line in a bit. Thank you. Please stay with us. All right. I have here Ebilade Ambo. I make bold to say the federal government is already financing. How else do you explain the 4 billion naira a month pipeline security contract given to a foremost militant in the Niger Delta? I know I'm not speaking amiss if I told you the young man can or is able to put up a standing army under his command with that kind of steady money. An army capable of bringing down a complete battalion of the Nigerian army in one attack. All right. Thank you. We also have here Owen Nat. Good morning, Sandra and Fuad. The unraveling news about the militant leader and the non-state actors in the Niger Delta has always been there, and there is nothing the government can do about it because these guys work hand in hand with both the state government and the federal. Owen from Lagos. It's okay. We also have here Samuel Akorede Ogunsoya saying the so-called elders in the Niger Delta are the real founders of militancy from the beginning, and now it's bouncing back on them. They are complaining. They groomed these guys. They armed them from the start. Now it is beyond them. Samuel Akorede, thank you. I also have Chika Bende from Trade Fair Lagos is saying, I've said it before, that since military said that they've identified the mastermind of the soldiers killing in Okwama, they should be withdrawn from the community immediately and redeployed to the north, where their services is urgently needed. Look at how they invited Gumi yesterday and leave him, while his aide, Mamo, is still being held. Just imagine Gumi let loose while the messenger is behind bar. Let them continue to deceive themselves. Chika Bennett from Trade Fair.
He said he was interrogated, and it was a very nice conversation. And after the conversation, he gave them useful hints and tips on how to deal with the issue of banditry in the Northwest. So that's information.
Well, he was invited for conversation. Anyways, there was nothing. That was what he was invited for.
He said he had a good conversation and gave good hints, useful tips to the government.
Good morning, Milan FM. On today's focus, agriculture is good, but I have once met people or youths who deserted their villages in Niger State to be riding motorcycles for commercial purposes in Abuja, all because of insecurity. Nobody will want to go to the farm and get kidnapped. Onokwama, cultism is a scourge we need to fight, and very soon, non-state actors may take over completely, and Nigeria may experience what is happening in Congo DR, where they have many rebels that government can't control again.
I even talk about Congo DR. Haiti is a state of the president. They didn't allow the president to come back to the country. Gangs have taken over.
Gangs have taken over.
Taken over the government house, taken over the airport, everything. It's a lawless state.
And forced the prime minister to resign.
If they say they did,
you can't go enter the country. You have to take a detour.
God help us.
President Tinubu should take restructuring seriously and prioritize it before his ambition for 2027. If that's the only legacy he can give and serve for only a term as president, his name will appear good on the sands of time. Muyiwa from Abuja. I don't know if our politicians are interested in legacies.
Their own legacies might be different from what we think should be their legacy. So
it's all right. Good morning, Sandra and Fuad. Obasanjo's comment on issue of unemployment in country causing insecurity, I think is right, because the proverb says, "An idle man is the devil's workshop."
Definitely.
And that's Alabama Ade sharing his own thoughts. I also have here Joshua from Oregon. Good morning. I'm in support of what Obasanjo said. The level of unemployment in this country is the major source of insecurity in the country. If you go to the north, you will see all these young men without doing anything.
Sandra, I was using the international standard of 4%. You remember that we changed the standard of calculating unemployment.
We're all employed. Yeah. Everybody have work.
You say it's just 4%. Is it that we are just faffing?
I know like 5 people on my street that don't have work. But let's move on. If you go to the north, you will see all these young men without doing anything. Imagine someone come and offer such a person 2 million just on a single kidnap. I will reject such offer. You reject it because you're a good person. I've said that. Let me leave that.
You just said it down that an idle land is the devil's workshop. So
I'm not doing that.
And the devil's workshop would take that offer without thinking it.
Same to our security person collecting 50K and someone offers you such amount. About farming, I say it again, fix security and see me go back to Benue. Yeah. A
lot of the security guards in Lagos and other places are people who left their farms because of insecurity.
That's very unfortunate. But you know, there's a day that I would really, really love, you know, for us to have this conversation on this apprenticeship system that the Igbos do in the East. I think it's something that, you know, it can actually also help when you
it's a form of empowerment.
Yes, you have a business and you bring in boys that serve for a period of time, and then after a period of time, you empower them.
Until these recent IPOB agitations and all of that, the Southeast has been very, very peaceful, really.
And business-wise, thriving.
They just do their business. You know, they empower themselves. The apprenticeship arrangement is there to help people. And the funny thing, recently there was a release on education, out of school children in the country, and the Southeast is not doing badly. I think the lowest unemployment rate, out of school children rates in the country, the lowest is in Anambra State, just about 2% or so. So they are doing well, even despite all of that. You know, so
I think it's something that should be looked into. I think it's. I would. How does it work? If it's something that can become
Peters now.
or Obi. I just say Obi.
We will have good information for you.
As regards how that works. Exactly. I'm heavily invested in that. I mean, I stay close to a place where you see all these boys. 7 boys can be in one shop.
But eventually they grow to
at the end of the day, then you see that these 7 boys, after like 7-8 years, they give them their own money. They go and their Oga gives them one of his shops.
I think it's
or
working
things like
really, and there's that commitment, that truthfulness to that arrangement.
And that's why you always say, "My brother, get him." And you're not lying. Exactly, actually,
a lot of those guys who have now become very big, they tell you how they came into Lagos, you know, under this arrangement,
this apprenticeship
and
arrangement.
then it works, you know. So they keep spreading out, and I think it's working for that region.
All right. Well, unemployment. What's your thoughts? Do you agree with Olusegun Obasanjo? And also the Vanguard investigation, pages 5, 32, and 33, has it here that according to investigation, there's a militant leader that, you know, has grown beyond control in the Niger Delta that is, you know, a bone in the neck of a lot of people.
Is the one the military guys are looking for.
Now, yes, and that's what took the military guys to Bayelsa State just a few hours after the killing of the soldiers. 0913600410. That's the number to call. 9:20. That's the time check us at now. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. I'm Obala Santa.
Good morning, Prince Wise.
Mr. Fuad, sorry to just to you.
Good morning, sir.
God bless all of you. Bless of my bless my country, Nigeria. You see, about Papa just spoke very well. We always spoke. Yes. When Mr. Fuad saying when we talk of message, we don't talk of message. We talk both. Because Nigeria today, Papa understand Nigeria. It is not a presence in Nigeria. 1973 when we called the head of state.
Yes.
That is a learning job for him. Operator free the nation. No way. When you come back second time, I was thinking mechanized farm with a place that we always give like potential to work with the home people. We they don't take custom gift from them. And again, for 50 years, we can't have mechanized farming to know what is very key in Nigeria. Government draft people from fled to the city. That is when they award the Georgia award, that is 73. People from fled is here. I want to go and test the city. I want to enjoy the booty, big people to worker. When the president there was telling Nigeria, we have the money that have to spend. And by then, my place, no water, no electricity. And you are telling me you have the money but have to spend it. And what the government we are talking about today, the government, if there's a job in Nigeria, this is the same no job, just provide security. We know ourselves, all the days, we are farmers before we come to the city. As I'm talking to you, I have a farm in my village in Oto State. So, government to take up part of mechanized farming. And the way somebody say that nobody don't pay our money, it is me that started those who work for us in Georgia. It was some of the IMF. What we $20 billion? What there's a lot to do in Nigeria. Electricity is not working. Our panel is not working. So they say, Baba tell us, you go and tell say, this is finally can never work like that. I don't understand something now. What we're facing today is lack of electricity. We want to go back to the farm. That the government will go back, especially the Southwestern governor, go back to the farm, mechanized farming, tractor everywhere. Let people go to the street in Lagos, have nothing to do. Pay them a good salary. Right farm, I'm telling you, they will do the job. Finally,
All right.
Nigeria belongs to all of us. Those the mine Niger data we were talking about, at least the military, even though the governor is number one to be talking to. When I was talking about you all the time, because not perform, he made it. When I go to the governor, what did he do?
Thank you.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Thank you very much, Prince Wise. Appreciate 0913-6000-410. That is the number to call. Don't forget that we are live on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM. So you can drop your comments in the live chat section as well, and we will take your contributions from Facebook as the show progresses. All right. Thank you. Hello. Good morning. Oh, okay. Well, let's take some WhatsApp messages. We have quite a few of them here as well. I have here, good morning to you, Sandra and Fuhad. My name is Victor from Shomolu. The issue of the militants and their activities being known by the military, the government, and other security agencies is not only happening in the Niger Delta, it's going on in every part of Nigeria, even in Southwest, Lagos in particular. All the leaders of area boys, touts, and agberos are all known by the government officials. Almost all of us are paying tithe and tax to all these non-state actors in so many ways. To build a house or other projects in Lagos, you need to settle area boys. Government must rise up to their responsibility. And that's Victor from Shomolu. Still on WhatsApp, I also have here Bolahon from Okoba. We can see the zeal and determination of our army. It's all right. Thank you very much, Bolahon from Okoba. Appreciate your message. All right, we also have here, good morning, Fuad. God will bless both of you. Amen. Thank you. The issue of bandits in our country is becoming unbearable. Despite the efforts of the federal government, they keep increasing daily. So I think what the government should do is put out a stringent law. It may be death penalty for anyone caught in the act. By so doing, I believe the menace will be curbed. And that is Robert sharing his own thoughts there. I also have, hi, Mainland FM. I have always advocated for diversification for Nigeria to grow in all sectors. To grow All sectors are important in order to grant employment opportunities to Nigerians. The major problem hindering the country presently is insecurity. If we say empower the youth in agriculture, who will protect them if they decide to go to the farm? From killer herdsmen, bandits, Boko Haram, even becoming teachers, bandits, Boko Haram will abduct. Transportation, bandits are on the road. Mining, bandits, Boko Haram. Now we have started taking lands, abducting, fishing, pirates will abduct fishermen. On the militant warlord, it's same as what is happening in the north. We have non-state actors who act with impunity. And because of the backing they have, nobody can touch them. This has to do with lack of political will. When our leaders are ready, insecurity will stop. And that is John from Festac sharing his own thoughts. I also have here, good morning. Most politicians use non-state actors to facilitate their political journey to the top. The implications of this is they can't caution or discipline them, notwithstanding their nefarious activities. The militants in the Niger Delta, the unknown soldiers in the southeast, the bandits or terrorists in the north cannot be more powerful than the state if there's political will and sincerity. Noah from Igondo sharing his own thoughts there. I also have here, good morning, Sandra and Fuhad. One of the problems or causes of insecurity in the country is due to high porosity of our national borders. Nigeria doesn't have a good border network. People from neighboring countries gain access into Nigeria anyhow, without passport or identification, thereby perpetrating crime without trace. Thanks. Nana from Shangu. Thank you very much. Yes, the border conversation also needs to, be said, because we have about 7 states or so. Yes, 7 states in Nigeria, that, borders about 3 other countries or 4 other countries or so. That's also another conversation as well. I have here, good morning, Mainland Radio and listeners. Baba Olusegun Obasanjo advising federal government about creation of employment for Nigerians is like crying over spilled milk. If Operation Free the Nation of between 1976 and 1979 had been sustained and not converted into Obasanjo Farms Nigeria, OTA, in Ogun State and in Benue State, will not be suffering kidnapping and terrorist attacks. 2. Fuad Said said some people are culpable. What evidence does Fuad have to jump into the conclusion that the people he accused as being culpable are guilty? If it is a caller who says that they are culpable, you guys will tell the caller not to make unfounded allegation. I am Adeleye in Festac. Well, Adeleye in Festac extension. I really don't understand the second message here saying for some people are culpable. What exactly is the problem with that phrase? Some people are culpable. What exactly is the issue that you have with it? No names were mentioned. It wasn't directed at anyone. So what exactly are you trying to bring out from that? I would appreciate if you can respond there, because I don't get it, and I don't know if somebody else gets it. 0913-6000-410. That's the number to call. Those are WhatsApp messages that we have for now. We'll be back to them in a bit, but let's go back to the phone lines. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, my name is MG Michael.
MG Michael.
Yes.
All right, MG Michael, where are you calling from?
Yes. I'm calling from Ikeja. Yes.
All right. You're welcome. Please go ahead.
My question is this. If dollars keep on going down, but the rice we are buying in the market is not going down. Why?
Oh, do you expect that it's supposed to be immediate?
It's supposed to be going down. Before we had that it was dollars that making the rice to rise. Now the dollars is going down. At least the rice is supposed to go down. I bought rice. It's 4,000 yesterday. Why is it like that?
What about the rice that was bought when dollar was up? Would you expect that the trader would sell the rice now that dollar is down? I mean, I bought something 80,000, and because the value of that currency has come down, so I should reduce what I should make on that to 60,000. What do you think of that?
Well, if it is done like that, let's leave that area. Right. When we are talking about mechanizing farming, what to take our government to buy a helicopter so that we can use mechanizing farming. There's a helicopter that you can use. China use it in the country. It will not up. It will be the one to fill the chemical and to put the water. so that there will not be harm. People will be free to do this farming. Because food, there's no food in anywhere. The food we have in the market is very costly. So I don't know what to take them.
All right.
So use money and do this mechanizing farming. That's my thought this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate. All right. Hello. Good morning.
Sandra, good morning.
Good morning, Madam.
How are you? How are you finding?
I'm well. Thank you very much.
Good morning, madam.
Okay, I follow you. 9:30. Look as if we're in 1 p.m. in the afternoon. It's too sunny.
It's climate change.
Climate change, indeed. I don't understand. Are people, vilifying Baba BG? Because that guy, both his military and his civilian, democratic president, that guy did wonders. So far, so good. I've never seen anybody who has beat his record apart from Gowon. Then because we were younger, but at least in his first coming as a military guy, he did so many things. Left so many things and went away. When he said Operation Feed the Nation, is he the one to take farm in all the 90 states then? Why didn't the state governors then take land and do the Operation Feed the Nation? He came back again. He established so many agencies that people are employing. Some regions came now, they hijack everything. You go to some agencies like this, you think you are not in Nigeria. And you are saying that OBJ. But tomorrow I will love that guy till death. I don't know him in person, but his work is, has shown who he is. I don't know why they hate him. But when you compare him with this people, particularly the last administration, I don't know what that guy came to do in this country. To be honest with you, I don't know what he came to do.
All right, madam.
To split place in us and walk away. And nobody's talking. Look at terrorism inside my country. I was born here about 7 years ago. I know I've enjoyed life in this country. I don't know what kind of leaders we have now. Nonsense. Money.
It's okay. Thank you very much, Madam Ifi. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who have experienced. I think Prince Y is also called in. Everybody, people that have experienced.
You know that when
Obasanjo as head of state and Obasanjo as president.
When you read the story, I actually just focused on the message. I had the reason for
stay on the message.
So I don't know why. If I had done the messenger, I would have been feeling guilty now.
You side for
no, I didn't talk about the messenger, and I felt that we should have just talked about the messenger.
I think we should actually focus on the message. But she is responding to people that had been looking at the personality behind the message,
and it's not helping us in this conversation.
No.
Really.
The truth of the crux here is the fact that there is a problem, banditry problem, kidnapping problem, and former President Olusegun Obasanjo is saying that unemployment should be tackled. And it should be agriculture should be an avenue or a channel or a medium which they can to solve unemployment. So we're asking, do you agree? And if you have your own suggestions as regards how unemployment can be tackled, let us have that conversation. Because just on one of the papers here, we have that the fact that private sector is already speaking as regards the fact that this new NPR could affect a lot of things going forward. Yes, the fact that high inflation, the interest rate, the 24.75 interest rate, organized private sector is saying that higher it could cause higher inflation and even job losses. So if we're looking at this and it is a factor to insecurity, don't you think it's something we should look at? So just as Fuad has been retreating all morning, let's focus on the message rather than the personality behind the message. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Sandra. Good morning.
Good morning, Malam Salam.
Good morning, sir. Sir, is this topic about the Obasanjo's comment?
Yes. He said unemployment.
Madam Sandra, please hold on. This is the only country that every nonsense can go. Someone can lead this country for 8 years without achieving anything, and it becomes a respect man. That's forward. I don't expect somebody like Obasanjo to talk about security. Example, during his time, is there any security? And under his watch, under his government, a chief law officer of the country in time of Bola Ige was killed. Under his watch, Joshua was killed. Under his watch, Rimi Abakarino was killed. Under his watch, the other Tureni was killed. Under his
I thought we were going to focus on the message.
No, not message. Message is that we talk about security. What I'm talking about is that there is no way. How many jobs did he provide during his time? You understand? When you want to comment on something, you say that, okay, you make some certain legacy. People see that during your time, there are certain things you put on ground. That's on you are making comments. He has not done anything now, so he has no right to make comment on this in Namano Central. Know that I want to divide. Let me tell you one thing. When you talk of 90% of Boko Haram members are used between 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 25. The oldest one among them is 35. Boko Haram was formed when Buhari was, they called themselves Northern Taliban from the beginning now. So when he was asked one of the media chats, now why did he allow Boko Haram to, he didn't make any move or comment to stop them. He said yes, because the Boko Haram make a Sharia, and the constitution of Nigeria permits Sharia. That is why he did it, which is logical. But we saw when Maman Yusuf was killed, he left all the way from Mobakuta to Maiduguri to condole with the family. So let us be very serious to ourselves. If he makes something okay, he makes things okay, he provided job, he made the economy very excellent. Then now together those legacies were destroyed. Then he make that comment. As far as I'm concerned, you understand? But now with this thing, I don't think that he deserves to make that comment. This comment comes from him. Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's all right. Thank you very much. You see, this is why we just keep merry-go-round in one spot. Because the other day, one government administration will say, oh, I can't do this because the past administration did not allow me to do it, or is not allowing me to do it. This is why or how, we stay on one spot, because we just do not agree with a lot of things. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, a lot of people have reservations about him, his character, his personality, his
records in power,
his records as well. There's a lot of reservations that we have about him. But the truth is, when somebody says something and it is in tune with the realities of today, can we focus on that?
Yeah.
Because the truth is there banditry? Yes. Is there kidnapping? Yes. Is there insecurity? Yes. Is unemployment a factor to these problems? That's the question that we're asking. And if you agree that unemployment is a factor to these things, just as former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said, if you agree, then what are the ways that the government can solve the unemployment problem that we have in the country, so that we can at least take a step forward away from the problems that we have? I don't know, that's why we try to bring angles into this thing. We don't just read out statements from, the papers. We try to, we ask questions so that there can be a focus, all right, so that we don't just deviate. The question is, do you agree that unemployment is responsible for rising banditry and kidnapping? And how can we tackle the issue of unemployment? What areas of the Nigerian economy can we look into to tackle and reduce unemployment in Nigeria? We didn't ask that, do you think Obasanjo is right to have made this statement? That was not what we asked. Please, can we stay? Because if we keep going back and we keep having this, we will not move forward. And that is why we just talk. And at the end of the day, nothing happens. All right. And this is how we tried during the election. We're telling people, let's have conversations. But no, people were more focused on somebody that cannot live, that cannot enter America. That's the way everybody was focused on. Please, this is Mainland FM. You're on to Mainland Focus. We have a few more minutes to go. We'll take one more phone call and wrap things up with messages that we have on Facebook and WhatsApp as we wrap things up. Thank you for staying with us. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Mr. Robert from Ikeja.
All right, Mr. Roberts, please, very quickly.
I think Mr. OBJ is right. And well, there's another thing I observed, because some countries like Brazil and India, most of them are surviving the sugar production. And we have many farmland in this country that we can also do that. I think Nigeria needs to embark on this sugar production, because sugar production is one thing that generates money just like oil. I've worked in a sugar factory before. I know how things go there. And we have a million and we can farm sugar cane and also do the factory for. And it also creates a job opportunity for our youth. I support OBJ. Job opportunity, that's what we need. Only when we get to work, every other thing will reduce the unemployment.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. I appreciate you calling in. I think that's the last call we can take for this morning. Let's wrap things up with messages that we have. We have some messages on Facebook. Let's see very quickly. All right. 𝐿𝐾𝐈𝐍𝐋𝐀𝐍𝐃 𝐅𝐎𝐿 says, good morning, Fuad and Sandra. God bless the monarch that spoke the truth. The government should invite for questioning the governor that received the petitions and failed to act. Which government?
It's several governments. It's not just this one. It's been writing petitions.
Because he said the government should call the governor. So I'm thinking that's the higher one, that's federal. Because the presidency was written to as well. So, everybody was written to. So I don't know.
Even the security operatives also got petitions.
Okay, so he said the government should invite for questioning the governor that received the petitions and failed to act for questioning. And if involved, should be jailed.
It's not that easy.
The army should contact the telco company to listen to communications between the killed officers and the militant and every personnel in the office of the soldiers. Okay. Also have here, Onotoye Temitokwe matter is that our leaders know the right thing to do, but they would prefer to go to bandits and kidnapping because when they loot the funds fall. On the second focal point, I'm still wondering who is not learned, but only collecting money on the road to be living in Banana Island and politicians looting treasuries. Only for a graduate to become a farmer under a great risk. Farming
is a good profession. Don't because the way he has now.
That's where I come in with orientation, because I feel that people just feel that farming is tilling the ground. That's all.
That's my younger brother I told you about. That's a range.
Fad doesn't drive a range. And he's here talking about Nigeria's problem.
And he's a farmer. And the man here thinks farming is a small business.
Is it fair? If the government is serious about this idea,
big business,
they should tackle insecurity in the country. God bless Nigeria. Temitokwe. We also have, I think that's all we can take for this morning. Thank you very much, Said Fuad.
Thank you
for your time. And to everyone who was a part of the conversation, to everyone who joined the show, either via Facebook, YouTube, or via terrestrial radio, or even Radio Garden, we appreciate you. But don't go anywhere. We'll just take a very short break. We'll be back by 10 a.m. for the big talk, where we'll be discussing safety in schools and how what to expect, or what we can do as regards safeguarding our schools, especially with this abduction situation in schools and all. All right, so stay with us, and of course by 1 p.m. you join us again for midweek politics. Said Fuad will be on ground for that one with 𝐿𝐾𝐈𝐍𝐋𝐀𝐍𝐃 𝅊𝐶𝐈𝐍. That's all we can take for this morning. Thank you very much to everyone. My name still remains Omobola Sandra, but the Morning Express continues, so don't go anywhere. Please stay tuned.
When your whole world comes crashing down, please look up. Assemble the team. It's showtime. The brains waking up.
What'd you have for breakfast?
We are the sound of Lagos, and this is Mainland 98.3 FM. Lagos,
you didn't see that coming,
did you? Attention, Airtel customers. If your line has been blocked, then this is for you. Head to the nearest Airtel shop with your NIN. Our friendly staff will help you get your line back up and running. Don't let a blocked line keep you out of touch.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
It's Ramadan. Come on board. Let's go on a tour.